Oh, hello. Having a hard time describing something beautiful? Well, guess what? You came to the right place. My name is Japneet. Let's get started. You know, there are 1,000 things that can be beautiful and you can describe them. A sunset over the ocean, a field of wild flowers. But to keep things simple, I'm going to talk about my knives. The cue card is describe an object you find particularly beautiful. We have to talk about what the object is, how was it made, what it looks like, and explain why you find it particularly beautiful. When you have to answer a cue card like this, quickly analyze the question. So the idea is, try to break down the question into smaller, more manageable pieces. You know, what are the components that we need to take care of? Things like that. So when it comes to description about an object, you can talk about what the physical appearance looks like. You can talk about what the function is. And you can also talk about where it originated from. And finally, you can add about what it means to you, because that would make it more personal. And also, when you're adding to your answer, you need to consider what kind of information or evidence you might need to answer the question effectively. So, for this, your information could come from, say, a personal experience. You might have observed these with someone else's place. Maybe a friend of yours has knives, you can talk about that. Or this is something of interest to you and maybe you want to buy an object and you've been researching about it, you can talk about that as well. And hey, if you get lucky in your exam and they ask you this exact cue card, perfect! You know how you can answer this. Before we move any further, let's do a quick sanity check. This could be a little overwhelming for a lot of us. Preparing for IELTS, giving out the right answers, you might feel a little anxious, so I want to check, are you feeling okay? If you are not, I have some information here for you that you might find useful. In my experience, anxiety, it's very normal to feel. When you're learning something new, it happens because you're under this constant pressure that you have to perform better. And that's perfectly fine to feel that way. So relax, don't worry about it, it goes away with time. Here are 3 reasons why you might be feeling this way. First of all, you could be intimidated that you have to learn English. Maybe you're a little shy and speaking a new language, it's a little intimidating for you. So that might be one reason. Another is that you want to be perfect, that you want to be absolutely great in speaking and just communicating in English. Finally, it's also fear of the unknown. We get scared when we don't know too much about things, so that's another reason why you might be feeling this way. But here are some things that you can try to overcome this anxiety. If you think you're feeling intimidated, that you have to learn a new language and it's scary for you, first of all, take baby steps. Create a plan and do a few things at a time. You don't have to do everything at the same day. Hey, Rome wasn't won in a single day. Make sure you practice, that'll help you get over your intimidation as well. And finally, seek out some resources where you get information, you get knowledge about why you might be feeling this way. And if perfectionism is a problem for you, so what you can do is, first of all, identify where the source is. Where does it come from? Then, challenge the thoughts that you might be having. We get negative thoughts that this might not be great. Challenge that. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to exist. That's what I believe in. Finally, self-compassion. You might be too hard on yourself. You might be thinking, oh, I'm not as great as I want to be. That's okay, you will be in some time, so relax, you'll be fine. If you have fear of the unknown, you might be feeling scared of what might happen in the exam. Don't worry, face it gradually, practice, and it'll slowly go away. And if you think it gets a little too overwhelming, it gets too burdensome, talk to your friends, talk to your family, and of course, get professional help if you think that is needed. That is one way to go about it as well. Now let's get to the answer here. I'll show you how you can talk about knives. In my answer, I'll talk about what these knives mean to me. I'll start out by saying something along the lines that I love luxury knives. You can start with that. Then I would go about describing what they look like. I'll talk about how shiny they are and what they make me feel like when I use them. And hey, you know what? I might even make it sound a little funny, a little witty. So don't be afraid to add a personal touch. Do that. Following that, I will get into how these knives were made. I'll talk about the craftsmanship behind them. I'll talk about how they are the perfect tool for any job, for chopping vegetables, chopping meat, whatever your needs are for that. And of course, I will compare them, how they're better than just regular knives as well. That just adds more variety to it, right? And I will also talk about how I'm not a professional chef. By no means I'm not, but I just love knives. And finally, I would give an example of how I use this knife, how it's different from other knives that I've used, and what I would do moving forward. So there you go, simple as that. You can reference to my answer here, you can see what the answer is like. And hey, if you like it, use it. Perfectly fine with that. So there you go. Now you know how you can describe a beautiful object. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. You might find more useful videos like this. And of course, share it with someone who might need help. Alright, see you in the next video. Take care.